Hello everyone, Enoch Burke saga continues in Ireland. This charade has gone on for nearly 4 years at this stage, and I've covered this on quite a number of videos, and in fact my position hasn't changed on this in terms of it should be a grown-up, rational, adult debate on the issues that were presented because of Enoch Burke's refusal to use the they-them pronouns in the first instance. Now, Enoch Burke has spent over 500 days in prison, and during the week another contempt of court charge was issued against Burke. This was issued by Judge Brian Cregan, High Court judge, who went on a tirade against Burke to say that he had been involved in a deliberate, sustained and concerted attack on the civil courts and the rule of law in Ireland. And he said there should be an immediate imprisonment of Enoch Burke. So here we go again. Enoch Burke goes back to prison because of the contempt of court case. Now, in the last couple of days, the Gardaí have shown up on 2 occasions to Enoch Burke's house in County Mayo, and he wasn't there. And on one of the occasions, the guards showed up and said, "Well, if you know where Enoch is, will you please tell us?" to his father. Just remarkable, isn't it? Remarkable. But of course, this is on foot, as I said, of a High Court order. It goes back to 2022 when a Board of Management put Enoch Burke on administrative leave, and there was an injunction stopping him trespassing on the school premises. Now, in 2023, the Board of Management of Wilson's Hospital School dismissed Enoch Burke effective from April of 2023, and in the context of this, he has taken an appeal to his dismissal, which still hasn't been heard. So he's still being paid by Wilson's Hospital School. And of course, as I said, his bank accounts have been seized in relation to trying to pull the fines from Enoch Burke. Upwards of nearly €250,000, I think, are in fines at the moment, and up to €40,000, I believe, was in Enoch Burke's bank account, and the salary is being transferred into now in terms of these fines also. But what's really, really fascinating with this is just the remarkable state overreach in relation to this, because it all generated from his refusal to use the they-them pronouns in terms of the recognised preferred gender of a pupil of Wilson's Hospital School. And the judge, as I said, went on a big tirade during the week to say there were security guards put in place at Wilson's Hospital School, and they said that he has been filmed protesting outside the school and turning up alongside the corridors of the school also. Now, they said he had a malign presence in the school as well, according to the judge, and he is due to be back before the courts, if he's ever captured, on December the 18th. This charade and has festered over the last couple of years, hasn't been addressed by the political classes or by the judiciary either in terms of what's taken place. Of course, yesterday Enoch Burke showed up outside the gates of Wilson's Hospital School. So much for the manhunt, or some people are calling them the they-them hunt. So we'll say that in jest. But at the same time, he showed up and he said that he has had an attack on his character by the High Court judge. He said it's a tantamount to slander. And he also went on to say that he has served the school with good conscience and with the dignity and respect that they deserved in terms of the Christian ethos of the school. And he said he is fundamentally against transgender ideology and has spoken out against it, and said that every school should uphold this in terms of Christian school. He said there has been anti-Christian ethos being driven by society, and he said all those religious leaders, whether Church of Ireland or Roman Catholic Church leaders in Ireland, should be challenged over this as well. So, fair point. We see in the Constitution there is an article that allows religious freedom, for instance, and of course this goes much deeper, I would argue, than religious freedom. It goes up to freedom of speech. And of course, many people have said that this comes down to the culture wars and it's a distraction. It's created a massive division in society in terms of what's taken place. So many people are saying this is the rule of law, he needs to abide by it. And others are on the side of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. But what's fundamentally very important here is the fact is religious beliefs are essentially God-given. They're not given by any man or given by essentially anybody else to decide upon them. And it was interesting as well because within the Constitution, Article 44 would identify that in terms of the rights of people in terms of freedom of expression and freedom to express your religion as well. And of course, it's really fundamentally about identities of people, which ties into what's taken place in society in terms of their whole freedom, as I said, of expression and freedom to practice religion and their beliefs. And it's just remarkable, again, when it's a Christian ethos school driving this also as well, in terms of driving this inverted commas woke stroke liberal agenda through those schools as well. But what's fundamentally needed with this is a proper debate around what's going on, because it's been allowed to fester, I would say, over the last couple of years by the political classes who've used it as a political way of silencing people rather than debating these issues. Now, whether you agree or don't agree with Enoch Burke or his tactics, or many don't, many do, but at the same time it's fundamentally a deeper question on societal level that should be discussed in a grown-up, honest, transparent and balanced manner. But you never get that in society, because you'll always get one side versus the other, and it's absolutely just nonsensical to what's taking place, creating more division, while the ruling classes keep ploughing on with their agenda in Ireland and across Europe as well. So let's see how it develops over the next period of time. At the time of recording this video early on Saturday morning, he still hasn't been detained. And of course, remember, if he's going to be incarcerated, it looks like it's going to be Mountjoy prison, like Ugo has been as well. And he spent over 500 days in prison. It's just remarkable. And currently the prison capacity of Mountjoy is 132%. There's up to nearly 200 people who are imprisoned, who are sleeping on mattresses. Many are sleeping in bunk beds, for instance, in single cells within Mountjoy as well. And many have been released, temporarily released, because of the overcrowding situation as well. So I would argue he's not high risk in terms of his terms of criminality. He's not charged with any criminal offence, but it shows you really the far-reaching consequences of the state, of the institutions of the state, and what's taking place in society as well. And even people such as High Court judges believe they're untouchable and can't be challenged, where anybody should be able to challenge anybody in terms of what agenda they're setting, and to stand up and defend themselves, and especially when it comes to your religious beliefs, and especially when it comes from our own country, which is steeped in Christian values for generations as well. So it's just ludicrous. As I said many times, the lunatics have taken over the asylum, and even with this debate, this is what's going on currently in Ireland. Absolutely lunacy, rather than addressing and dealing with the root cause of what's taking place in society. And it comes down to your freedom of expression, I would argue, and freedom of speech as well, and to discuss those things in an open, honest, transparent manner. And they shouldn't be conditional like they are in parts of the Constitution, the 1937 Constitution, around the political classes to decide on what's contingent. And we see a drive towards authoritarianism across the European Union as well, where they're trying to silence people speaking out, and this is a critical part of what's the bigger struggle that's at play in society. So thanks so much for the support of my videos, really appreciate them, and take care. And thanks so much as well to Neve and Sean, who recently supported me through buying me a coffee. So from Dublin today, it's Long Take care.